Two Northamptonshire women who'd never met claimed this is what happened to them in 1978.
I left work in the Daventry Teachers' Centre to drive home. I saw a brilliant red light over one side of the road and a brilliant green light over the other. It was attached to something grey, and I thought it was an aircraft which was very low. But as I got nearer to it, I found that it was actually stationary. It was grey, smooth, plasticky looking, I thought. It was so smooth. I remember thinking that the traffic that was coming towards me would see it as I'd passed under it, but I didn't notice that anybody else was looking upward. That did register as being a little strange at the time. It was so perfect against this darkening sky, this dumbbell shape with these two bright lights underneath. I had no idea what this object was. I'd never seen anything like it at all. It wasn't an airship, it wasn't a helicopter, it wasn't an aeroplane. I felt no fear at all, just curiosity and strangeness that it was something the like of which I'd never seen before. I got in the car and drove further along the road. But my car, which had been serviced that day, suddenly malfunctioned. I changed from second gear to third, but instead of going faster, the car was slowing down and had come to a stop. The light had disappeared completely. I couldn't see the road, the trees, the buildings. I could see absolutely nothing at all, not even the car I was sitting in. Suddenly there was a circle of brilliant white light, and then that light went out and darkness returned, and then circles of brilliant white light shone in a pattern on the ground, from left to right in a semicircle, on and off and on and off and on and off. I looked through the windscreen to see if I could see anything above that they could have come from, but I couldn't. Everywhere was black.
The next thing Elsie knew was that she was driving towards home.
When I got home, the kitchen clock said 6:15, and my journey had taken half an hour. The following day, that journey took 15 minutes.
2 hours later, and just 4 miles from Elsie's home, Georgina Lowry was driving 3 friends to a Women's Institute meeting. Georgina has never told her story fully before, though she did report her sighting to her local paper, just as Elsie had done. Her description of what she saw that night matches Elsie's exactly.
Can you see these lights up here? Good gracious.
There was a white light shining straight down from the clouds into the trees. As this light was shining, then the car started faltering. And then the light was suddenly switched off, and we saw a red and green light. And this object, for whatever it was absolutely pacing the car. And then the 2 lights went out into one single white light, which then shot off at a speed that I've never seen before, and it wasn't a plane. There was no sound whatsoever. This was what was worrying.
When the story of the Northamptonshire UFO hit the papers, paranormal investigators asked Elsie to be hypnotized.
What's happening?
My head aches. There's a light, white light, coming towards me.
What can you see now?
There's a small creature coming towards me.
It was grey. It had rounded, curved lines around it, and there was the glow around it too. I just didn't know what they were at all. When people say to me that I dreamt it, or I made it up, I give them a short, sharp answer and say, I was there, you weren't. You didn't see it. You didn't experience anything that I have experienced.